Good morning all, wherever you are, wherever you're coming in from, whatever time of day it is. Good day or good morning to you. This is going to be the 8 a.m. movement snack full of bits and pieces of mobility and a sprinkling of circulation boosting too, to prepare those joints and to get them ready for what we need them to do throughout the day. Who's up for a bit of that? Frances is here. She's just signed in. You're first in today, Frances. Well done you. Great to have you along. Bristol, of course, you're from Bristol. I think yours is the one I remember the most. You reinforce it the most and don't leave it just to our memory banks. Thanks, Francis. Mrs. Perry's in as well. Good morning to you. Dufferin, South Wales. Just a windy road up from Port Talbot is where you're from. Now, I've had a little bit of a dilemma this morning, a little bit of something that's thrown me. I think it might throw me for the entire day if I don't sort it out, you two. No coffee. It's just, I don't know what to do with myself. I've even made myself a super small cup of tea. Not quite sure about it yet, but I'll have a little bit just to just for effect. Just trying to trick the body into thinking that it might be coffee via the mode of a hot drink, if that makes sense at all, any sense to anybody that's listening or anybody who even cares. Morning, Vivian. Vivian and Paul are probably there. Well, Vivian definitely is. Paul is probably there. The back team. Welcome to you as well. Sheila Day's in. Did you have a nice meet up with sister yesterday? Did you have a lovely day? I hope you did. Let us know how that went and how many family members were there? Was there quite a decent gathering? It was a wedding anniversary. Am I right in saying that? Have my memory bank served me well on that memory or not? Maybe. Yes, Dawn. It is a nightmare. I've just mentioned I'm trying to trick myself into thinking that this is a lovely, hot, dark coloured coffee tasting hot drink, but really it's a cup of tea and I'm not the greatest fan. I only started drinking tea. I gave it a go in the January 2019. So yes, for most of my life, I have been a coffee drinker. Right, look under the tree for a coffee-shaped present. That's a good idea. My friend always used to give me something Starbucks related. So yeah, that's a good idea, George. Otherwise, I'm just going to have to get my bum out the door, aren't I, as soon as I've finished movement snacking with you lot. I know some of you are tea bellies, aren't you? You love your tea. I can't say I'll join you on that one. Morning, Carol Kent. Morning, Gillian with a G. It's a cough tea. Thank you. I quite like that, actually. Trying to trick me even more. We've got Margaret Wood in, reporting that it's wet in Chesterfield. We've got, it was a golden anniversary. Fantastic. Not too many family members. Let's have a look. I can't see the rest of your message. It won't show me just yet. I'll have a look in a bit. Anna Rose, we've got you in. Hello, good morning. I think this is the first time I've noticed your name come up on screen. Have a look at the movement snack movements. Choose what you want to do. They're seated or standing. You might know this already, but just telling you anyway, just saying. Right, I might need a nudge, everybody. 3, 2, 1 time. Thank you. There you go, Bex. Is it gone? Right. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. Good morning and welcome. Today is it Monday? Yeah, it's Monday, the 20th of December 2021. You're with me, Kelsey Leverton, for a brand new week of earlies for me, lunches for Dave, and Bex's at 4. Let's get going. We're going to do our circulation boosting, 3 rounds of Circ Boost, and we're going to get stuck into mobilising your joints. Seated or standing, please do take your pick or go between the 2 positions as you see fit. So let's just start down at the bottom, at our roots, at our base. Feet around hip distance apart if you're in standing. Standing up tall and straight and even through your feet and your legs. And lift and lengthen through your spine. Just give everything a bit of a stretch upwards, a lift upwards. Start to move through the ankles, the feet and the toes. And in morning movement snacks, often, if we're on carpeted floor, we opt to wear just socks. And this can help you to just see and feel that little bit more around what's happening on your ankles, feet and toes. You might want to bring that into a leg march. I'll leave you there to get on with that for a moment. And here are your seated bits and pieces. You might want to bring a hip walk forward. So lift and shift, hip hotch your way forwards in the seat. Lift up tall when you're there. Feel like you're just trying to look over next door's garden wall. Through lengthening your posture. The only bit that goes back and down are your shoulders. The rest of it, we want to feel the lifting, lengthening, extending. Keep going with that. Leg marches can come into play, or you can just stay down at foot pedals. It's entirely up to you. Not too high of a knee lift here. You're going to feel this perhaps a bit more in your hips than you would in standing. And if they really start to ache or your posture starts to sink, then just rest them down, and we're going to get stuck in with some arm movements now. Fix your elbow. Bend your elbow at about 90 degrees. See if you can get your coordination working in your favour. Opposite arm to leg. If you're in standing, you can be using your external support just to have a light handhold touch onto as you bring one arm, or you can of course bring both arms into the mix. Now just a few points about the arm swing. We're driving the elbow back to maximise the swing from the shoulder, so try not to let your elbows flop around at all. With our feet, we're landing toes, ball, heel, rolling through as you land and rolling through as you lift. And after a couple of 3 minutes, we should start to feel the benefits of this circulation booster. Your breathing will lift slightly, and so will your heart rate. Your blood is, of course, moving that bit faster around your body. And because of all these bits and pieces, arms and legs into the mix, you will be warming up a little bit as well and preparing the joints for the mobility moves to come, which are coming. They're about here. Steady yourself down wherever you are. Take a pause. Ooh, and you might want to take your feet out that little bit wider for your mobility moves. So you can have your arms by your side, lifting up the shoulders. Top trio first, pressing down. Here's the supported option, not too far away from your support for these shoulder lifts and shoulder circles. You don't want to feel like you're reaching for your external support. And in seated, just the same. 3 or 4 or 5. 5's good. And keep going with that. Now we're going to progress this into a shoulder circle. So when you're ready, forwards a little bit. Here's the emphasis on the up, round, back and down. There's the one. Have a go at another 4 more or so. Smooth and slow. Well, I say smooth. There might be a few clicks and clunks. But as long as they're not giving you any real pain or discomfort, just try and work through them. If we can get the arms to move a bit better, the shoulders to move a bit better, the arms will be more free in the movement that they attempt to do today. There we go. That should do. 5 for me. Okay, staying in standing or staying in sitting. I'm coming a bit closer. Sit up or stand up tall. We're going to turn our heads this time and mobilise through the spine in your neck area. So shoulders facing forwards, have a glance, have a return back to the middle and have another glance. This is like crossing the road in slow motion. So the neck, the muscles, all those muscles around your neck will be moving, of course, as well. You may feel them lengthening, you may feel a little bit of a pull, but it's only when we hold a position, which we don't do in the 8 a.m, then it can turn into a bit of a stretch. So what we're doing here is mobilising, loosening, uncreaking, decrumpling our joints. And of course they're surrounded by muscles and other bits and pieces, so they get a little bit of benefit as well. 5 then, I think I'm about there. Put 1 in if you've lost count. A 6 is fine between us. Right, chin tucks this time. So head, neck, sitting tall, lengthened through, fingertips to the chin, and you want to retract your head. Tuck in the knobbly bit at the bottom of your spine on your neck, tucking it away. See, that's from the side. Chin lifted but not tipped up, and then we suck it in to give yourself a double chin. So this is our kind of full range, our fullest range of chin tuck. And of course, when you move through your day-to-day stuff and you remind your body of posture, get into good posture, this isn't sustainable, this fullest range chin tuck. But do try to pull your chin in to lengthen up that part of your spine. And it can help to improve the postural position on head, on top of neck and shoulders. There we go, take a pause there. Second round of Circ Boost, off we go. You might want to take your feet a bit wider here. You might want to grasp hold of both hands. You might want to come from your support, just one arm releasing at a time. And we are doing our arm row. So reaching and a rowing, reaching and a guiding, the elbow back. Seated is exactly the same course. This is getting a bit of movement, a bit of warmth, building some warmth around our middle area, getting ready for our trunk trio. My dad's just creeping out, going to work. Right, take a pause there. We're going to go into our trunk twists first of all. So hips, if you sat on them, they will behave and stay still. In standing, you'll just need to be a little bit more mindful of what your lower body, your hip position are up to. So feet are going out wide if you are in standing. With support, glancing over your shoulder, or without the support, just getting your arms out the way. Dad, if you want to come and get a cup of tea, come and get a cup of tea.
Okay.
You don't know how to creep around at all. We can all hear him in the background, can't we? Here's the squeaky door.
Thanks for my cup of tea.
One more on each side if that takes you up to 5. And then we'll go into our side bends. So here with side bends, have your arms by your side, loose, heavy, long, relaxed, or just take hold of your support. There we go, standing tall, over we go, without pushing the hips out, and then straight over to the other side. So when I mean push the hips out, we don't want the hips to go one way as your body goes the other. The hips stay in the middle, and it's just some movement through your middle top half staying in line with bottom half, and in seated, bum cheeks staying in contact with your chair. Sitting up tall in the middle, get everything evened out, symmetrical. And our trunk movements help us with all of those small movements that our body may do in joining up with the arm movements. Any reaching activities down to the floor or lower levels, and any kinds of walking, twisting, turning, washing, dressing. The list goes on and on. Right. Our final visit for trunk is back extension. So you can have your hands onto your knees or onto your external support. Make sure just before you begin, you've got your chin tuck in place, you've got your shoulders back and down, shoulder rolls back in place, and you've got a tall posture to start from. Feet can go a bit wider. Alternatively, if you feel confident without holding onto your support, in standing especially, you can put your hands round towards your back pockets, either or. So lift, 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 let's lengthen up a little bit more, and then let's tilt away, arch the back a little bit, extend at that top end. Now this is an extend at the top end without thrusting your hips forwards, people. So take some softness, that pleasant bend into the knees, lift up, but try not to straighten your knees here, and then take it away. Now your movement might be smaller, might be somewhere in between, it might be a little bit more bigger than my range of movement, but whatever you see, it doesn't matter, as long as you work within your comfort zone. Lift, lift, lift. Here's my last one. Right, we've got some fidgety feet coming up with our final flurry of Circ Boost. So you might want to put some foot pedals in. Just do a hash of any of these moves. You might want to put some extra leg marches in. I'm just going to show you quickly. You pick, you stick with these few that you want to do. You might want to put some toe taps in, just shifting your weight from side to side if you're in standing position. You might want to do some toe crunches, some toe clicks and crunches there. Arching the instep away from the floor, out of your shoe. Or you might want to do a few toe lifts and splays. See if you can give your toes a wiggle on the end there. Do a few of each one of those. Here's your standing option for ankle mobility. You might have your support directly in front of you. If your support's directly to the side of you, have this closest leg, the standing leg, and then toe tap and onto the same spot, the heel dig. Good morning, Rommel. Toe tap and heel dig. Now you can transfer that into seated by sitting tall, front portion of your chair, toe tap and heel dig. So if you'd like to choose which one you'd like to do out of those, and the final one is a hip walk position. I'll just hotch my chair forwards, a little bit of a lift and a point and a pull back, and I'm going to stop here to do mine. Point and pull back. One side might feel a little bit easier to move than the other. The aim is to understand that and try and focus in on that side or that area that doesn't feel as even as the other side. 4 or 5, so a point and a pull back is the one. You can feel probably a bit of movement happening across the top of the foot, around the joints of the toe bones as well. It's good to move the feet like this. We spend a lot of time on our feet. They need to be prepared and ready for walking and transferring and uneven surfaces and up slopes and down slopes and all of the rest of the different areas that you might end up walking on. Right, all done. There we go. Thank you all for joining me on this 8 a.m. I'll be here with you for the rest of the week as we run into Christmas. Shock, horror. It's here already pretty much. And from me to you, have a great day. I'll see you tomorrow morning at 8. But in the meantime, I'll leave you with Dave and Bex. You'll have a proper spread of us movement snackers for this week. Take care all. See you tomorrow.